morning and welcome to The Blaze. My name is Portia Starr. Today we have three amazing guests joining us today. We have Lance, an Afghanistan war veteran. We have Layla, a refugee from Afghanistan. And we have Jack, a schoolboy from the Dalton Academy. Do you want to join us on stage? So good morning. I'm so glad to have you all with me today. How are you all doing?
Great. Better.
Just happy to be here. Good. So we have Layla, Jack, and Lance. So our first topic for this morning we're going to discuss is synthetic drugs. So synthetic drugs are on the rise. Nearly 11% of all high school seniors have admitted to using synthetic marijuana in the past year. Lance, I know that you are a notorious marijuana user. What are your thoughts on the use of the drug?
You know, I'm not a big fan on the synthetic drugs. I hear all those stories about people like taking bath salts, running out naked in their front yard, trying to kill their dog. I just smoke pot, you know? I feel like I have a connection with nature, and I just feel like using your natural resources to your advantage is like the coolest thing to do, you know? Yeah.
Huh. Well, that seems pretty, wow, yeah, I agree with you. What do you think, Layla?
Yeah, no, see, I disagree there. I think drugs are drugs, and it doesn't matter whether you're doing synthetic marijuana or real marijuana. I just think it's illegal. If it's legal for a reason. And as if, like, the weed wasn't bad enough, like, these synthetic drugs are laced with so many chemicals. And it's
with that.
Yeah.
It's all like fake stuff.
It is, and it's like, people don't pay attention to the health benefits.
It's not even real THC.
I know. But really, they give it, you know, they put all these chemicals in it, and it gives them a good high, like ecstasy or heroin, and that's all they look at, and it's a good moneymaker. Actually, last year I just read that it was one of the top-selling drugs in America. And so it's a good, it's a really good moneymaker, so I feel like that's all that kids kind of look at, and then they don't really pay attention to any of the long-term health effects. But I mean, then I feel like the natural plant, I mean, no offense, Lance, I don't really agree with that either. I think that that's still very harmful, it becomes very addictive, it costs a lot of money to smoke it on a regular basis. And, like, it makes people very lethargic and lazy. Do we need more fat and lazy people in America? Like, I don't think so. Like, we have enough of those, but people could be spending their time in much better ways, like volunteering or doing chores or just being with family. Family's a very important thing these days, and people kind of lose sight of that, I think. I don't know, I feel lethargic just thinking about it anytime.
You know, I agree with you. A lot of people don't know the dangers of synthetic drugs. They can be laced with all sorts of things. There's a lot of hospital visits each year. There's almost like 11,000 deaths or something like that each year because of synthetic marijuana alone.
See, you don't hear a lot of deaths about people who smoke real THC.
Did you hear about the lazy people?
Hey, that's your choice.
Yeah.
Jack?
I feel like this is a good thing to do. I mean, like, why not? Like, nature gives it to us. Like, whatever nature brings, that we should use. Like, if you smoke pot and it brings you to your peak, why not? I mean, I think it will boost people's confidence to make the right decisions. They will feel like they have more power, which I think is awesome. Like, take that and use it at your will.
Yeah, I totally get where you're coming from. Actually, yeah, that's a valid point. It is a valid point. There are a lot of, obviously, there's a lot of debate, even just among regular marijuana. We have, you know, some states have legalized it, some haven't. So what are your thoughts on
It's
this?
brought a lot of money into it.
Yeah. Yeah, they've been great. Yeah. So, we're gonna move on, okay? Any last words now?
That was an interesting first topic.
Yeah, it was. Okay. We're going to transition topics now. We're going to talk about gender roles. And so, although gender roles became much more equal as of recently, there's still growing debate over the fact that men still make more to the dollar than women do. There is an article in the Huffington Post that women only earn 77 cents for every dollar a man makes. Now, I know that you are a big advocate for feminism, Layla, so what are your thoughts on this issue?
Well, as a woman, I feel like that kind of angers me, the statistic about how we make less than men, and I'll never understand why a woman's quality has to be, you know, less than that of a man. Like, I never really, I guess, understood that. And, I mean, I think things have gotten better. The Civil Rights Act passed in 1964 kind of brought women into the spotlight and kind of gave them some, like, you know, laid out rights, which I think is great. But in some respects, I do think it is getting worse in, like, in our time now. For example, a good friend of mine, Laura Brownell, wrote the Britannica Book of the Year a few years back, and she kind of brought about, which I thought was a great point, that the internet is actually making sexualization of women worse. It's kind of degrading the woman, you know, as a figure. And I definitely agree with that because articles, photos, magazines, anything really so much more easily accessed on the internet. And that just makes the sexualization of women so much easier with that easier access. And I think a lot of times sexualizing is often done by men, and then that can lead to even the worst case scenarios, rape and domestic abuse. But it's even done, I feel, by women, like our own friends and whatever. They scrutinize women and kind of look down upon them and just kind of pick them apart.
Well, they should. I think men.
Wow.
As a man, you're gonna say that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Why?
men are shown to be more capable of doing more things. We're more physically built. We have that upper strength that women don't have. Like we.
That is bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't really think
I
that's-
served in the Afghanistan war, man, and I served with a lot of women who could do more things than I could. And while I was in Afghanistan, I saw so many women get abused. They were stoned, hanged, burned for no reason. I don't know how people could just do that.
Yeah.
Women have the ability to give life, and it's a shame that you can't cherish that.
Well,
You know what I mean?
they wouldn't be in that position if they physically inept to be able to get out of it. They wouldn't be in that situation. Men have that upper strength where they can get away with certain things that women can't, and that puts us on
But having
top.
no reason,
See, and
man, it's
that's what's
just,
wrong with us.
yeah.
I think is
People
men that
like you,
think
but-
Right?
I mean, everyone your times are
But I think that women can really do anything that a man can do. There's no reason why we should make less. There are a lot of capable doctors, lawyers, entertainers that can do just as much as any man can do. And there's people like you who really don't think that that's possible, and that's why we still have this gender divide. Now, Leila, I know you grew up in Afghanistan, right?
Yes.
So it must be a lot different for you here than it was there, especially like with the internet and all the the sexualization of women, right?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot different. I mean, where I come from, people, women were kind of put down and women were always seen as inferior. So coming here, it's almost been like a better in a way. Because here, compared to Afghanistan, women are definitely treated better and do have more rights. But I still do see that divide, but actually it is better off for me here than it is where I come from.
God bless America.
Greatest country in the world, right? So there's also been a big backlash on social media about the topics of dress codes being enforced in high schools more heavily on women than men, such as things like women are wearing tank tops and men are wearing tank tops and women are asked to cover up because their shoulders are showing, but men, they don't even question them. So any thoughts, anyone?
I think that everybody should dress as their peak. Like, why not wear a shirt and tie? Why not wear a dress suit? Make it look like you're presentable to show the power that you do have. Like,
Do you think that it should be enforced but not differentiating between men and women? It should be equally enforced?
yes, definitely equally enforced. Like I don't see the point of wearing booty shorts for no reason. That's what, you're degrading yourself. You shouldn't be degrading yourself.
Booty shorts, they pull a lot.
That's what you think.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I agree definitely that the school dress codes have gotten out of hand. I agree with Lance here that you should kind of dress to present yourself in a positive manner, but I also think it's kind of your choice. If you want to show off a little of what you got, I say go for it. And I dress in a more conservative manner, that's just me. But I don't think that women, should be put down and you have to cover your shoulders. Well, their shoulders aren't covered, and I just don't understand why we should be asked to change when it's a distraction to them. As long as it's reasonable, I don't think it should be a big deal. If you're on a diet and you're at a birthday party, you're not going to ask the fat kid not to eat his cake because you're on a diet. I mean, it's kind of like along the same lines as that. I just don't think it's right to ask women to change, unless there is a line that they cross. But
Yeah, I agree. So we're going to change the pace a little bit. There's a presidential election here in the U.S. coming up in 2016. What are your thoughts on the candidates running so far? Lance, you want to start?
Well, just because I'm a soldier and all, doesn't really mean I focus on government politics. I definitely do know that Osama bin Laden was killed when Obama was president, so it'd be chill to have him again. But I don't think he's running, right?
No, he was president for 8 years, so you can't run again.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. I mean, I think it would be pretty chill to have a woman as president, because like I said, I think women are just as strong as men. Seeing Hillary Clinton would totally make a change in the
Hillary Clinton
world.
has announced her running the election.
Yeah, so I think it would be nice to have a change in presidency, like from a woman's point of view, like what she could do to change the world, you know.
Yeah, I kind of am to take with Lance there. I definitely agree with that. I would love to see Hillary in office, not even just because she's a woman. I mean, obviously I'm an advocate for women, so that's kind of a bonus. But I do think that she has a lot of great policies. She has like a pro-choice policy. I think that's great to give everybody like their own choice and their own, you just say control. I feel like their own thing. You know, the Clinton Foundation. That's great coming from kind of like a third world country. You know, we don't have the technology and the facilities that we have here. So I think it's great. That's a foundation that really just brings people together and it gives the stronger countries a chance to kind of share their wealth, which I think is great. It really helps us as a community and people, you know, places where they're struggling a little bit. And I think it could lead, you know, she could lead our country to very positive.
Yeah, there's, you know, Hillary Clinton was our former Secretary of State, so she already has a lot of those foreign backings and foreign relationships that you would need as a president.
Yeah.
So,
And I mean, she's got her husband too, she can always reference to, you know.
yeah, he was a,
She has a lot of experience, which I think
Yeah.
is great.
I'm sorry, but I disagree with Hillary Clinton like, becoming
yeah.
president. I think we've been doing fine with just having men be our presidents. I think Kerry Bowers, he police dispatcher, was in the Air Force. He has strengths. He knows what happens in war. He has the experience. He's clearly the best choice. He
you know,
displays strength. He's been in those situations where he needed to hold up a gun to someone and wasn't afraid to shoot.
you know, I'm gonna cut it a little. You say that we've never had a problem with men right now, right? As of right now, we've had men presidents. Well, we're in upwards of $18 trillion in debt because of our men presidents that we've been having. We've had like our economy has been up and down, you know. So I think that a woman could be the change we need.
I see your point in that, but I think it'll take a man to change that.
We have our differences.
Weird.
We're gonna
Man's
need to cut
president
this off.
doesn't
We're gonna
change.
take a commercial break, and we'll be right back after this.
I can't do this anymore.
It's not my fault you're going on sleeping with other
Who's
guys.
telling you this?
Everybody.
Everybody, you're gonna listen to everybody else but your girlfriend?
Yeah, I am.
Well, I'm not gonna listen to you anymore.
Shut
Did you know 1 out of every 4 women are victims of domestic violence? Don't be like me. Get help now before it's too late.
Hurt in a car? Call Porsche Star.
I never thought I would ever get in a car accident, but it happened. I was scared and lost and I didn't know who to call. Calling Porsche was the best decision I could have made.
Porsche Star helped me out my time in need. It was my fault that that accident happened, but she helped me realize that it was nothing I can control. Call Porsche
Your
Star.
fault or not, give me a call. I'll help you get your life back on track. Call 1-800-STAR now.
So welcome back from the break. Our next topic up for discussion is the implementation of Common Core curriculum into our school's public school system. Jack, do you think this is a step in the right direction for public school education?
I mean, I'm not glad this really doesn't pertain to me. I went to a private school, but if I was in this situation, I think it's completely wrong. Like, why are you slowing kids down when they could be rising? Like, why not be the top when the best you can be? Exactly. Like, we're taking that opportunity away of slowing everybody down for the sake of what, maybe like a small group of people or for what people think would be the best. I don't agree with that at all. Like, people should choose what they want to do with education. Like, do you want to take it seriously? Then you take that extra step and you get ahead. And people who don't want to take that extra step, then don't. It's up to you. It's really a personal choice. But with private school, I mean, we all just try doing our best and seeing who can get to the top.
And one main point of Common Core curriculum is have everyone in the country on the same page. So you don't have different tests and different levels when you apply to college. You know, everyone's just kind of at the same level. But
I agree with that, with the testing. Like, why should someone maybe who have an extremely hard test on the same topic, especially if we're doing Common Core, like, why have that person do awful when it would be a harder test? Like, I think the tests all should be the same. I do agree with that, because then that gives everybody the same opportunity. But like I said before, it's your you have to choose. Do you want to study for this test or do you not want to study for this test?
Yeah.
Studying for this test will get you good grades and put you on the top, but if you don't, it's
It's your choice. It's great.
I don't find it beneficial either. Like, I totally agree. Like, as a kid, I didn't know much, which is why I went to the military and stuff, because I struggled in school. And I would hate to see, like, kids like me who struggle have to make their way and equalize themselves to somebody else. Like, you should take the classes that you have the ability for, and like you said, it's your choice if you want to challenge yourself or be lazy. So I totally agree with you on that
A
point.
lot of this is funded by Bill Gates. So it's, as I said earlier, our country's in a lot of debt right now. So the implementation of this could be economically beneficial. Do you think it's worth it?
No.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It definitely, you have to kind of play around with the numbers and really, I guess, implement it to see how it works out. I mean, I agree with their points a lot. I mean, I do see the point of it kind of helps minorities and women like myself. It kind of includes everyone. It's the whole no kid left behind. It kind of really tries to make a push for everybody, but I also do see their points very valid. It's a very touchy subject, I would say.
well, especially as we have kids who do excessive drugs and not just marijuana, like other things.
Yeah,
like
other
why should other kids be slowed down because of them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. So for our last topic, I thought I would address the latest news of Bruce Jenner's transition from an Olympic athlete to the women known now as Caitlyn Jenner.
Yes.
Tremendous support from the LGBT community as well as social media and of course her family. We can start out with Jack again. What do you approve of her decision?
Not at all.
Why?
She degraded herself going from a strong man who many people knew and looked up to now this woman who, in a way, it just kind of like, to me, I'll put this
Publicity.
sign. Anyways.
Went to a private school.
True.
Yeah.
I don't know, I just don't
see
see-
where
I
you're
mean,
coming from. They're very
good for him, I guess, for having the strength to even make that decision. But I don't know.
I mean, could you do that?
no,
Could you have the strength?
no, I couldn't.
See, I give her props, not only because she's hot, but just because I feel she has more strength than me. I mean, I served for the country, and she has had to go through that whole transition of going out, like you said, publicize everything. And I think it takes a lot of strength, and he's had to live his whole life unhappy like that, Like, I've lived a pretty happy life. And who am I to judge? I smoke weed, and she wears dresses, like, who cares? The only thing in the world that should care is happiness and freedom. And
I agree 100% with that. I mean, who are you if you're not happy, right?
yeah,
I don't know. It's not a life I would ever choose for myself. I do think it's kind of petty and a waste of money. I mean, I'm a bit more conservative though. So I don't know. I mean, I definitely think, like, as a mother, like, my kids are the most important thing. So I feel like, acceptance, that's something I try to instill in them. So I feel like that's something we try to instill in everybody is accepting. And so do I think we should make it as a big deal? No. And I just feel like it's kind of like overdone. Like if it had happened, just because they are a popular, famous family.
Yeah.
But we kind of society are losing focus on what's important. Like she is actually, is winning the Arthur Ashe Courage Award for doing this. And I think, there was a veteran that was a runner-up who lost his arm and a leg in some bombing, and now does all these triathlons and death races, and really is doing a lot with, losing an arm and a leg. And the fact that Bruce or Caitlyn, I guess, won that over him, I think that's where our society is kind of losing.
Yeah. I completely agree with that. I think that, it was a courage award, right?
Yeah,
Courage
yeah.
degree. I think that a veteran who served our country and lost some of his limbs should definitely be above Bruce Jenner. Caitlyn Jenner. And
I have to say so.
yeah,
Veteran over here.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to thank you guys for coming here today. I've had a great time. I hope you all had fun in our discussions today. And we'll see you all back here next Tuesday.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks.